Well, then here's the question. Do you think there is life after death? Even if you have no kind of a way of knowing that infallibly, do you act as if there is? Do you think there is?
Your actions echo in eternity.
What does that mean?
It's best I got, man.
All right, so I think Christians love you in many respects, because in many ways you teach us better than our priests often do, and priests will be the first to admit that. They've learned so much from you, and we're grateful for it. I think some Christians are frustrated with you because they'll say...
That's okay. I'm frustrated by many Christians,
Oh, me too. I'm frustrated with myself daily. But they might say, look, you're using our book, a book that was written by believers and for believers, and all we're trying to figure out is, are you a believer? And it feels like when the question is put to you directly, it's obfuscated somehow.
It's not the right question. So, like, there's no way... It is interesting in the scriptures. What color is a musical tone?
Yeah.
Well, sorry.
Okay.
The framework from within which that question emerges is invalid. It's not the right conceptualization. Belief is a commitment. Mm-hmm. It's an existential commitment. It's not a statement of fact.
But in order to commit myself to something, I have to know it might exist in reality and not just in my imaginings.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So can't that just
where's
be the
the
first
reality?
step?
Well, this is partly why this book I'm writing right now deals with characterizations of God. So let me continue with that. So I talked about the characterization in chapter 1, the identity between the spirit that gives rise to created order and the human psyche, and I think that's exactly right. I think it's the best definition of what consciousness does that's ever been formulated. And it's the basis of our belief in the West that human beings have an integral value. And that's a bedrock belief. You can't get rid of that without bringing the whole thing tumbling down. Nietzsche knew that perfectly well. Well, in what's God in the story of Adam and Eve? The spirit that punishes presumption and pride. Okay, how about in the story of Cain and Abel? The spirit that rejects unworthy sacrifices, right? Then in the flood, the spirit that is all hell breaking loose when you've gone looking for trouble, right? Then the Tower of Babel, the spirit that brings the presumptuous, technologically obsessed tyrant to his knees, right? Then in Abraham, the spirit of adventure, and in Moses, the burning bush, and the force that enables the worthy to stand up against tyranny and to free the slaves from their chains. That's God, all of that. Do you believe in that? Well, you either believe in that or you believe in its opposite. Like there's no non-belief position here. You see, there's no non-belief position. Let's say the spirit of adventure comes calling to you, which it does, which is why you're to be prepared. You're to have your wicks trimmed, right? Because it comes like a thief in the night. Be awake when the call comes. Okay, well, what's the call? The call to adventure. Do you believe it? Do you follow it? It's either yes or no.
Right.
And if it's no, then you just believe in something else. Right? You're stuck. Why are you stuck with belief? Why are you stuck with faith? Because what the hell do you know? Right?
Very little. I don't know how plastic is made, Jordan. I know very little.
You're confronted constantly by your own ignorance. You move forward on principle. You have to. You move forward in faith. In faith in what? Well, the biblical injunction is the highest form of faith is represented by the spirit that's characterized in the biblical stories. And here's another example. Jacob has a vision of the ladder, spiraling ladder upward. It's an ancient vision. It's an ancient vision. It's the rod of tradition and the serpent. It's the same thing.
Okay.
It's Jack and the Beanstalk's pull. It's the cosmic axis that points to the North Star. It's the manner in which we orient ourselves. It's all of that, Jacob's ladder. Jacob decides when he leaves his state of juvenile deception and machination, manipulation, that he's going to aim upward. He has the dream of the spiral upward. And at the pinnacle of the spiral is God. Well, what is that? That's the ever-receding spirit that calls you forward. So imagine that as you mature, you're a child, and then you're an adult, things beckon to you. Okay, but they change. But the fact of the beckoning remains constant.
Yeah.
What beckons? It's a definition. God. And what is it? Well, it's the same thing that broods over the water. It's the same thing that brings the prideful to their knees. It's the same thing that produces the flood or the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. It's the same thing as the call to adventure. It's the same thing as the crucifixion of Christ. It's all the same thing. That's the monotheistic hypothesis. Does it exist? Does the call to adventure exist? It's what develops you. It's what you encourage in your children. You act like it exists. Is it a fact that people have a divine value? Well, build a society without that assumption and see what happens.
Treat those around you as if they don't have it.
Yeah, right. Try that for a week. See how popular you are with everyone. Right? How do people want to be treated? As if they're the embodiment of a logos.
Also, a massive thanks to Hallow for sponsoring this podcast. Hallow.com/Matt Fradd is where you want to go if you want to try out their entire app for 3 months for free. It is an absolutely fantastic app. They actually have all of my audio podcasts on there right now, so you can listen to them over there. They have Catholic lo-fi, meditation, amazing stuff. Hallow.com/Matt Fradd to get 3 months for free. Hey, thanks so much for watching this clip. If you want to watch more clips of me chatting with Jordan Peterson, click these videos somewhere here on this screen.